You usually do, mate. Right, okay, let's see if this works.
Is that coming up?
Right, evening everyone, and welcome to TMA Sunday Night Live. As always, with the Pidge, and I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mrs. Non-League, Mr. Moodinho.
You've got to change that for next season, mate. I'm not sticking to that.
Yeah. Well, this is still this season, mate. Until we get in the championship, you need to figure out a new name. All the budget cuts and everything, mate. You know, the club make budget cuts, so do we, mate. But also, we are proud to welcome, absolute honour to welcome, ladies manager Clint Lancaster. Evening, Clint. How you doing, fella?
Evening, everyone. Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
That's all right, mate. Pleasure. Honour as always, mate. And also the ladies captain and Welsh international, Helen Ward. Evening, Wardy.
Good evening.
Right, okay, guys and girls, get your opinions through. Anything you want to ask both Clint and Helen, and otherwise we'll just get on with it. So, guys, just looking back at last season, obviously we had the COVID situation, guys, who obviously curtailed the season. But what's your fondest memories of last season, Helen?
Well, there's quite a lot, to be fair. I think from the start of the season, we set our stall out. We all knew what we intended to do. And I think with each game, we were getting stronger and stronger. Went on a mad unbeaten run. I can't remember how many games it was, how many wins in a row. But I think one of the standout games was the Plymouth one. You know, we had every single type of weather you could imagine. We had you guys follow us down to the southwest. And we came out with a 5-4 victory. I mean, it was closer than we'd have hoped, and I'm sure that Clint was having kittens on the sideline, but there was never any doubt in my mind, even at 2-0 down. there was never any doubt in my mind that we would come back, because I know how good a team we are, and you know, a couple of mistakes let them in too many times, but you know, going forward we're a fronting force, especially in our league. So there was no doubt, and that was a big high point. It was our last league game before Christmas. In fact, it was our last league game full stop, but we obviously didn't know that at the time. So yeah, that's probably one of the highlights for me, was that game in particular, because it had a bit of everything, and we came out on the right side of a 9-goal thriller.
Brilliant. Yeah. Clint, any highlights?
Yeah, I'll go along with that. I think the Plymouth game was like Helen said, really, it was a bit of a thrilling game, although stressful. It kind of had everything that you'd kind of want if you're a neutral. It had a sin bin, it had loads of goals, it had a dodgy referee, it had everything going on. So I think it had a hailstorm as well at the start. So it had everything going on. But yeah, that was a highlight, and I think winning obviously was the most important thing. And then probably the Crawley game, because we knew they were going to be up there. So beating Crawley away 3-1 when we had probably our first big test against them. So that was a memorable one as well, really. So those two for me.
Yeah. You're back in training as well this week as well. So all preparations are gearing into the new season. How's that going?
Yeah, it's going really well. We've started. Yeah, we came back on Tuesday, and we had another session today. So we've done Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today. So it's been a busy week. So there's been really no rest for the players. As soon as we've come back in, it's been pretty full on. Today was quite tough as well. So get obviously the 1 day to rest tomorrow, and then back again in on Tuesday. So we really kind of want to hit the ground running and kind of get going with the intensity nice and early. So really pleased with what's happened so far.
Yeah, perfect. Moops, go on, mate. That's all yours, mate.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I've seemed to like thrown back to last week. By the way, I'm more with it this week, Clint. I'd just like to say, after what happened last week.
You were all right last week, mate. Don't worry. You were fine.
I've actually had a good night's sleep for once, so I'm a bit more livelier. Oh man. I was going to say something. Then it's going to have me head again. There we go. We've gone back to last week. I was good. Actually, got a question for you, Wardy. What's it like going off with the national team and then having to like whiz back quickly to play for the girls again?
Yeah, it's tough because in the National League there's no international break, so I tend to risk missing games, which obviously I don't want to do. I don't want to miss any games for Watford, but of course I can't turn the opportunity down to go and play for Wales. So although I absolutely love going to play for Wales, it's something that I'm very proud to have done so many times. You know, I think I'm on 90 caps now. So it's something that I'm very proud to do. It's always unfortunate, as I said, that I have to miss games with Watford, but knowing the girls and Clint and the staff, I don't leave with any worry that there's going to be any problems when I'm not there. I just don't like missing out. So it's more a case of me being selfish, not wanting to miss games. But it's great, you know, it's nice to have a change of scenery from time to time and, you know, going and seeing different faces and then coming back and, you know, hitting the ground running, hoping to work hard again. Sometimes you need that little bit of a refresher, just to, as I said, have a bit of different scenery. But, you know, it's never easy to leave Watford for a week, 10 days, however long it is. But as I said, I know the girls are in good hands and they'll continue working hard and playing the football I know we can. So, yeah, it's a tough one, but at the same time, it's something I'm very proud to do and I thoroughly enjoy pulling on that red shirt.
Fantastic, guys. I just want to quickly flip back to that Plymouth game because the one thing I forgot about and Clint highlight was that sin bin that Raya got. That was a mad 10 minutes. But what was going through everyone's minds when that happened? Because it all seemed to be a real flash moment, and even us guys in the crowd that day, we were all looking at each other completely baffled because we thought originally there'd been a substitution and Raya had come off, but then the word got out that it was a sin bin.
Yeah, so it was obviously our first experience of it and our only experience of it in the season. A new rule that came in last year, and I think it was a little bit of backchat to the referee. She didn't like what she'd heard, which is fine. You know, Raya took her punishment. But in terms of us, the rest of us on the pitch, I think, as I said, we were always confident and it never felt like we had 10 players. In fact, we scored the winner. Andrea scored the winner when we were down to 10, which shows the sort of team we were. There was no case of just sitting back and taking a point. It was never an option. We had to win that game and it didn't matter how we did it. I think Plymouth had a bit more possession in the second half of that game, which you'd understand and expect with a player more. But we limited them to trying to play long balls over our back line, and they stood tall and won't let that happening. And then we've got pace for days on the break, you know, in all areas, wide areas through the middle. We've got players that can carry the ball. We've got players that can run, you know, in behind, offer to feet, and that's what we did. You know, it was a brilliant cross from Addy after some good build-up play and a fantastic finish. And again, it just never, you kind of forgot, like you said, you forgot that we were down to 10. And then once Raya came back on, it was a case of just making sure we saw the game out in a professional manner. And we did that. I think we limited them to scratch, really. And that was how we needed to do it. And, you know, it showed the adaptability that we've got, that we don't just have one way to play. We've got several things up our sleeve that are dictated by the game and the situation we're in.
Excellent. I know Clint said about this last weekend when I had a chat on the ladies one. The main goal is promotion this season. Would you fancy another? Do you girls fancy another cup run again, like we had in the plate?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one because our priority is and will always be the league, and we'll never shy away from that. And the plate run was fantastic in the sense of we got to the final, and you know, I'd like to think we would have had a good chance in that final had it been played, but we don't want it to distract from what we were doing, and it caused a few problems in terms of fixtures because the plate game kept getting delayed and postponed. It meant that we didn't, as I said, we didn't play a league game after the 9th of December, and that was a bit tough. You know, we wanted to get on. It left us 3 games behind Crawley, and although I have no doubt that we could have caught those points up, it's always nice to have the points on the board. So a cup run's fantastic as long as it doesn't take away from your priority in the league. Hopefully the weather is a bit kinder and there's obviously no pandemic to deal with next year. Hopefully the fixtures can be a bit smoother and we can, you know, compete brilliantly on all fronts as we always want to do. We just a bit more consistency in fixtures and being able to play games would help that massively.
Brilliant. Clint, what's it been like being back at training this week? Has it been nice to see everyone again and talk to them all?
Yeah, it has. It's been really nice. I think we were all kind of really looking forward to getting back. And then when we saw each other on the Tuesday, certainly when I first saw all the staff, it was like we hadn't seen each other. It was like it hadn't been that long. But because we were having, regular Zoom meetings and kind of keeping up to date with each other, it was kind of, it didn't feel like it had been a long time, but it was really nice to see everybody. The players were in obviously great spirits coming back for the first one. And I mean, the first session back was kind of a bit of a welcome back session, good bit of fun and kind of blow away any cobwebs. But it was, it was lovely. Really nice to see everybody again.
Oh, brilliant. There's one thing I did want to ask. There was a little picture on Twitter appeared after training with everyone in the circle laying down flat out. Was that like planned or something? Because all of us on the ladies fan group, like especially on the messenger bit, we were in hysterics over it because we were just like, what is going on already? They all look knackered. They looked like they were knackered already. Was that how it was, or was it just a little warm down?
Yeah, it was Mickey, our S&C. He's always coming up with new ways to keep us fit, keep us in shape, keep us, doing whatever we can to get those extra percentages. And it was just a little sort of breathing exercise at the end just to calm everyone down, get your heart rate down and that kind of stuff. So it was just a couple of minutes that obviously Andrew, our photographer, captured in a very clever photo. But yeah, we weren't. It was a tough session. It was warm in that dome. But yeah, we haven't lost our legs just yet.
I'm glad. I'm very glad about that because that was, like I say, the inbox chat was going off the wall and I had to mute it at one point. It just jogged me up. I
think somebody thought we were playing Sleeping Lions, didn't they?
Yes, I think that comment went round as well. It was
that one.
I'm great at that game. I'd have won it.
Yeah.
I probably would have just fallen asleep though, to be fair.
Oh, fantastic. Well, one thing I did want to ask was, how big a miss is it going to be not having Andrea this season? Because last season she was on fire whenever she was on the pitch, and when the news broke, I think it rocked all of us really. But how much is she going to, especially in the dressing room before the game, how much of a miss is she going to be?
Go on, Helen.
Yeah, of course. Grace is a little person, but a big personality. She's great ever since she came in. She struggled at first with the language barrier, but fair play to her. She learned a language quicker than I could imagine ever trying to do. I think I watched things like Peppa Pig and read Mr. Men books to get herself the language, but she was a really good character, fully professional, just worked harder than anyone else, always in shape, eating the right things. She put a lot of us to shame in that sense. The way she just fought and battled no matter what was going on. And she became a big part of the squad. But at the same time, with what's happened over the last few months, she knew the time was right to go home. And, we can't stand in our way of doing that. And everybody's supported her. And she's gone back home and got herself a contract with a Spanish team. And that's thoroughly deserved. She's such a talented player, as well as such a good person. So she'd definitely be a miss on and off the pitch. I'll miss going in and, trying to pretend that I know any sort of Spanish that I learned about 15 years ago at school. But yeah, she's a good kid. But, hopefully players we've brought in, players we've already got, we can step up and, do her proud. And, hopefully we won't miss her too much on the pitch, although we obviously know of the talent that she's got.
Yeah.
Pidge, have you got a question or two, mate? You want to ask?
Yeah, I mean, I'll usually let you think because you're more the expert than me at this point in time. But Helen,
thank you.
Obviously, looking at compliments, mate. The checks in the post. Remember moves. But Helen,
yes.
looking at obviously from this season that and Clint will probably verify this as well, that the club have really started to push it. About time, I think personally, the exposure of the ladies team and sort of just recognising that we actually have got a ladies' side as well, and a very successful one at that, especially this season. Half the time, Moobs goes to every single game, but we read most games you're winning like 3 or 4-0 and stuff like that, and it's just unbelievable. People should be supporting you anyway, win, lose or draw. But how fitting and touching was it when you walked into the club shop and you saw your shirt with your name in the club shop as well? That must have been really a pat on the back for you. And you would obviously stay the team as well, because how far you guys have come. But how special was that when you saw that for the first time?
Yeah, that was amazing. It was a very nice gesture. And as someone that's a Watford fan, born and bred, I've had a season ticket since I was 9 or 10 years old at the Vic. So to see my shirt in the club shop was pretty cool. But it's testament to the whole club. We've got Grace in a general manager's position. I don't think there's many, if any, general managers at this level of the game. So we're fortunate that the club are willing and able to have her in place. And by having her working at the stadium alongside the staff who work for the men's side, it means that we can be really integrated. And all the media stuff that you see, we have exactly the same sort of templates and same kind of ideas across the two sides. And I think it makes it look so professional, and it shows how much the club do back us. We train at the training ground now, and there's a lot of clubs that don't have that privilege to train at their, what was a Premier League training ground. The facilities we've got, the gym obviously at the moment is a bit out of bounds, but once this has all died down, and obviously last season we were able to use the gym, which is an unbelievable facility just for, general training, but also any players that have injuries, they're going to get the best care and rehab that's available, rather than, being left to do just the basics, which again at lots of clubs you don't have that sort of luxury. So it's brilliant that they're showing that support, and hopefully there's a lot more to come, and long may it continue. But as I said, as a Watford fan, it's lovely to be able to play for the club you support and have that backing as well.
Brilliant. No, it's fantastic. I've said this many times to Moobs. Moobs, credit to Moobs. He's really pushed me on and pushed the others on to really sort of report on the ladies team as well. And really just, I know those guys have got a fantastic forum now as well for extra exposure to you guys. But it was Moobs that really told us to sort of pushed it on this forum as well to really shall we say, just report basically on the ladies team and get everyone aware that we have actually got a ladies side. And I said to Moobs a few times that you look at other sides like the Uniteds, the Arsenals, the Tottenhams, and they're all using training grounds with the men. And it was about time that you guys did it. And that's not necessarily meant to be a dig at the club, but it's about time that you guys have been you girls, ladies, shall we say, been integrated into the club a bit more. And like you say, you've got the same template. A lot of things are the same now. You're using the gyms, the indoor facilities, but I think that should have been done a long time ago. But it's nice that it's happening now. That was sorry, that wasn't really a question. That was just like a blanket statement of me being on my soapbox. But I'm just happy that the ladies have been shown the respect that they should do, and we're happy to be part of that anyway. But right, Clint, I know you've been. I've watched a bit of the pod that the ladies fan group did. It was absolutely brilliant. Of the bit I've watched, so kudos to Dave Quick and Moobs and everyone who done it. But we'll probably get to Helen with this as well. But shall we say your rise to the top, your rise to Watford. I mean, what's the journey been like for you as a coach? From the very bottom to, like say, to the top, being a Watford coach.
Well, for me, coaching wise, I started at university in Plymouth when I got into just coaching the uni team at the time for a little bit, because they had a period where there wasn't anybody that was willing to coach the team. So I kind of took that on for a little period. And then when I finished uni, I went on to Plymouth Argyle and did some coaching there, which was kind of my first real taste of coaching really good young players. And then I kind of quit everything down south and came up to join Chelsea, where I was coaching in the community and with development centres, and kind of got my first taste at Chelsea with coaching in women's football, where I did some stuff with the youth teams there, the Centre of Excellence as it was at the time, now RTC, and then development centres, and then that was really good. Really enjoyed that, and then from there went on to Crystal Palace, where I stepped up really to work in senior football in the women's game, where I was coaching the under-23s there with Palace ladies, and then I stepped up again to assistant manager with the first team, and then over to Watford with the under-23s, and then up to the first team. So I've always been fairly patient. I've always been someone that's always wanted to learn off of everybody I've worked with, whether it be previous managers, previous players, all different staff. And even now, I've got some great staff around me as well that I'm still learning off, and I'm sure they're learning off me. And that's the best thing with football. I think there's too many young coaches out there that kind of want to go their own way and adamant it's this, and kind of shut off listening to other people. Whereas I think that's the best way to be is kind of is to listen. I mean, I was always told that you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you can listen more than you talk. So I mean, that's always kind of, especially when I'm around people, I try and do that more often. Maybe the players will disagree because I do talk a lot, but I'll slip that one in there. Yeah, but no, I mean that's really me. And obviously now I'm at Watford, and I'm obviously really happy to have taken the role as head coach, and hopefully can push us on to win this league now.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Moobs, go on. You go ahead, mate.
Yeah, that's all right. Clint, are we likely to see any more friendlies get added to the list before the season starts, or is it just the ones, or is it just going to be a few before because of such a?
What do you know? What do you know so far?
All I know is that I know I think there's about 4. I think that's been announced. I'm not sure. I know there's one. I know Ipswich. I know there's Ipswich Town away. Yeah, it come up on there. They announced it.
Yeah, I'm wanting you to ignore me.
Moobs always knows more than you guys.
He's on it. He's on it.
I only saw. Look, I'll be honest. I only saw it flash up on Twitter, and that was because I was just scrolling through something, and then I think it was Kippy messaged me saying, "Have you seen this?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll check it out." So.
Yeah, no, with friendlies, obviously at the moment they'll be kind of behind closed doors. So whether they get announced or not, I don't know. I think a lot of it will be probably hush hush, so it doesn't kind of, people aren't too tempted to go to some of the games. But no, we've got friendlies every weekend now, really up until whenever the start of the season will be, and that'll be the case because we just want to get back playing now. So it's been a long time. So yeah, we have friendlies booked all the way up to early September.
Brilliant.
That's all I'm giving you.
The man of knowledge, Mr. Moodinho.
I knew it. I wasn't like pushing to like try and gate crash one, but no, I just thought I'd ask because I'll probably be my luck. I'll come off here and then one of them messaged me going, "Why did you ask about friendlies?" So I thought I'd throw it out there and see what happens.
Honestly, Clint, just go on the ladies forum, the ladies fans forum, and you'll know what fixtures you've got, mate. Honestly, they are the source of information for you guys.
They are very good. They're on it. They are on it. We really appreciate what they do, to be honest with you. If I ever forget anything, I'm on there. I'm on the forum.
I would like to state that's mainly Quickie that's doing it because he has more time on his hands than any of us put together. I would just like to state that.
Yeah, I was about to say David's very quick, but mind the pun.
Yeah, mind the pun indeed. He catches me out a few times because I have to look at my phone whilst I'm working and end up getting the telling off. So he's got a bit to ask for that boy when I get my hands with him. Stop it. Oh man. I know I'd get in trouble for saying that. I just don't want to get a slap on the wrist off Grace. That's all I'm worried about.
That's all right. I'll email her and tell you done it, or just send the video over to her. That's fine, Moobs. All right, mate.
Thanks, mate. No, I could count on you.
It's cool. It's all good. No, it's good. That's what good friends are for, mate.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Helen, what's the who's got like the best music taste in like the dressing room? Because normally when we're going home, there's like you can hear God knows what being played. Is that just like a random playlist put together, or is it someone putting Spotify on?
I'm probably the worst person to ask, being the grandma of the team. But I think, generally speaking, the music comes from Ocean, Emma Beckett, maybe Addie has a little bit of an influence. Those three tend to come up with this. Dan Scanlon actually as well. She's quite up on her music. There's 3 or 4 of them that come together and they get a playlist. And I think they generally ask every player to contribute at least one song. So I always like it when my Motown number comes up, much to the disgust of the rest of the team. Everyone loves a bit of Luther Vandross. Nobody can deny that. But yeah, it's a joint effort. It's a joint effort from some of the more, I don't know, the ones that are more caught up on their music at the moment. So I have nothing to do with it, probably much to the delight of the rest of the team.
I was going to say, you certainly might be a bit of Motown.
That's not to say that their taste is good. In answer to your question, who has the best taste? That's not to say their taste is the best, but it seems to be the most popular amongst the rest of the team.
Right, Helen, Danny Hyman's got a question. He says, what's the best goal you've scored for Watford?
Wow. I don't even know. That's a really hard one. It depends. You've got ones that mean more that aren't necessarily the best, or you've got ones that look nice but don't necessarily always contribute to the result you want. So it depends how you look at it. I look back at last season because I can't really remember anything beyond that. The one against Oxford in the plate at home, that was quite a nice one. A little chip to the far post. I think it was the only game that wasn't filmed, so I've no proof that it was any good. But that was quite a nice one because it won the game after they'd been trying to time waste for quite a long time as well. So it's quite a sweet feeling to see that one drop in the far corner. So yeah, I'd probably go for that one, and the one against Plymouth as well. Great ball from Kat, and I just caught it nicely on the volley at the near post. So those 2 probably stand out the most. But I can't go. I mean, I scored a few in my first spell at Watford, but I couldn't tell you anything about any of those.
Yeah, I was going to say because go on, mate. Go on, you carry on, mate, and I'll drop in.
No, I was going to say I certainly remember both those goals last season. That was, I think, if I had to pick one of those 2, I'd probably say the Plymouth one because that was just out of this world. Because I didn't even see it coming. The next thing, the ball had zipped into the top corner, and I was jumping out my seat, winding all the Plymouth fans up.
Nor did their defenders move. They didn't see it coming either. Too quick for them.
Oh, no. I was going to say you were lightning across that box that day. It's gone.
It's all about the timing.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you again, mate. I for once I actually can blame the sound on my computer for this rather than me actually interrupting you, mate. So I do apologise. That's my excuse anyway. Right. Okay. Yeah, Helen. So like you said, your first spell at Watford. Back 2009, 2010 time. You played. I'm a Wikipedia here. I always get caught up because I got caught up with Jono last time because I thought he was still at Wealdstone, and he said, "No, I'm not." He goes. So that really started off the interview well with Jono the other week, wasn't it, Moves?
Yeah.
But I mean, you played for the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea. I mean, you had a spell at Reading. Well, 4 year spell, shall I say? But do shoot me down in flames if I've got this really, really wrong. But you've kind of gone full circle. You started at Watford and come back. So was it a bittersweet moment when you re-signed for Watford?
Yeah, so I left when I was 22, I think, originally. And I was fortunate enough that Arsenal wanted me at that time. And they were, without being professional, they were the most professional team in the country at that point. Best team in the league and winning trophies. So it was, although I was really happy at Watford and I'd spent my whole life there, having signed as a kid, it was difficult to leave. But I knew that I had to do it because if the best team in the land comes calling, you have to give it a go. But always, I think in the back of my mind, even, I don't know how many years, it was probably pushing on seven, 8 years maybe that I was away from the club, but always in the back of my mind there was that feeling of, can I get back there somehow? Can I potentially finish my career at Watford? And when that opportunity came up, I was pregnant with my son Charlie, my second child at the time, and the general manager and the manager who were in charge at that point, Ed and Keith, they were really good. They were so keen to speak with me and see what my thoughts were. And I had one or two other options, but as soon as Watford put their cards on the table, it was a no-brainer for me. Rich Walker as well. He was a big part of me coming back, and was good enough to offer me a role behind the scenes as well as playing, which again was huge because it meant I could support my family, but do it in a way that I was able to with the two kids being so young as well. So I have a lot to thank all the people involved, and then obviously moving forward, the likes of Grace, Clint, Armand, everyone that's been involved have been superb to me and understanding of my situation at home and my family. But I'd like to think that I try and give as much as I get, and my commitment, I don't miss sessions easily or anything like that. So I think it's sort of reciprocated, or I hope it is anyway. But it's, as I said, it's a club that means a lot to me. And if I can finish my career here, if I'm wanted for that long, then that's something I'd love to do. So re-signing was a special moment, and coming back home, as I like to call it. And when Armand took over and he made me vice captain for the rest of that season and then captain the following season, it was a massive honour and something I'm very proud to do. So yeah, it's fantastic walking out in the yellow shirt every week, and whatever it might look like next season. It's always a pleasure and an honour to do that, and something that hopefully, as I said, I can continue to do for a little while yet.
Cool, brilliant.
I've got a question for the two of you. What's like the lockdown been like for both of you? Being able to keep busy in that.
Go on, Kent.
Yeah. I've to be honest with you, I've been working and I've still had bits and bobs to do, but it's been a nice opportunity to spend time with family and friends as well, and kind of forward think, I suppose, and plan for the next steps for us going forward as a club. So that actually the amount of time we've had off has been good, because it's given us more time than we would normally have, I suppose, to plan and prepare for the next season. Although we would have loved that to have been the Championship, it's not the case. But still, we've had loads of time to plan and prepare. So, but no, I mean, although it's been difficult, it's been nice to have spent some time with my family and do some bits maybe around the house that I wouldn't have done otherwise. So it's been all right. A difficult situation. It's not been too bad.
Yeah, I'd say the same. It's been nice to be able to spend time with the family. Me and my husband aren't always at home at the same time. We're a bit like parting ships in the night sometimes. He works long hours and then he comes home and we sort of high five, tag team, and I go to football and he takes care of the kids for the evening. So it was nice to have, an extended period of time where we were both home for a lot of the time, and I hope the kids appreciated that as well. But at the same time, it was difficult not being able to play football, because it's such an outlet for me personally, and obviously something I love doing. But bought myself a treadmill to keep myself fit, and now I look back, it seems like the time flew by. It doesn't seem like it was however many weeks it was in the end. But I think my last game with the girls was on the 1st of March before this, so it was a long time coming, because I went away with Wales just after a friendly that we played, and so it's been a long time coming getting back. But yeah, I managed to keep myself busy most of the time, if a bit bored at other times.
Well, I was going to say, right, there's a question from Danny. He wants to know, have any of you guys bought
Wait there.
She knows what I'm going to say. I'll finish the question.
Show me up here. Yeah, she's.
Yeah, he's saying
drum roll.
Any of the teams bought Nina's design stuff that she's been doing? I know I was meant to, and I completely forgot.
Yeah. I'll model it for you now.
I'm going to sling it on now. Look. Yeah.
There we go.
Hey!
A t-shirt
Oh,
and it's got
brilliant.
Very
Vicarage
good.
Road on the back. Yeah.
That's very
She's
nice.
very
To be fair.
talented, to be fair. She's. I think some of the girls have bought some of the hoodies off of her, and obviously I've gone for the t-shirt. I'm a bit out of breath. It's a bit changing into that. But yeah, she's super talented, and the quality. To be fair, the quality of the t-shirt is really good. So I'd highly recommend it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Danny's been the
wait for
official
them to
seller, especially on our forum. Sorry, Mopes, go on. A couple more questions coming through as well. I think there is. Oh,
yeah.
Go on.
You read one out. No, you read one out. Go on.
Yeah, okay. Right, I've got Ricky's. Ricky, we said we'll try and sort out for her, but she really wants a photo with you when the season starts. So, I mean, you guys are absolutely brilliant, so that will definitely happen. But she also says, who's your best friend in the team?
Oh, I mean, I get on with everyone. I hope. But I've known Emma Beckett a long time. We played together at Watford many moons ago, and she's also very close to me in age, much to her disgust. So we get on very well. I get on really well with Addie. I generally bring her to and from training and games. At the moment, obviously, it's a bit difficult, but she's my travel buddy. But yeah, I get on with all the girls. You know, I can't say that I don't get on with anyone. And to pick a best friend would be difficult. But yeah, they're all good girls, and you know, I'd happily sit and have a conversation with any one of them. You know, sometimes it can feel awkward having a conversation with someone, but I think we've got quite a good group that are really happy in each other's company, which is nice.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you what. Danny's on fire with questions tonight. He's asked.
He loves it.
Wait till I get older. He's asked what goes through your minds before kickoff. But I'll throw that out. To both of you.
I just want to get the game started. I think once you're just out on the pitch ready to kick off, I think all the nerves disappear. You've had your warm up. You just want to get on with the game and, you know, start well. It's just excitement, really, wanting to get going. Nothing in particular. Obviously, different games bring different expectations. But, I mean, for us last season, it was a case of let's start fast and try and get ourselves in a good position for the game as early as we can. Doesn't always go to plan, but we like to try and put teams under pressure as early as we can.
Yeah, I think for me it's probably the same. I think you get yourselves. I think you train hard because you really look forward to the Sundays and you really look forward to the games. And I think that's why everybody plays and why everybody's involved in football. It's not for the training; it's for the Sundays or the Saturdays. So I think you kind of have the excitement. I think maybe as staff and as coaches, there's always nerves, probably more often than not through the game. I think the players are focused on playing and doing what they can on the pitch. But I think obviously for us on the side, it's making sure we make the right decisions. And I suppose that lasts throughout the whole game. But excitement really is obviously the big one, especially on the day of games. Always looking forward to a game.
Cool. Oh, fantastic. Luke has joined us, our very own tech man on a Sunday. He's asked, at the moment, have the ladies got a full clean bill of health, or is anyone carrying a minor injury at the minute?
Everyone's certainly healthy and well. There's no real injuries to report from any of the players. So no, everyone's come back very healthy and well, which is good. And yeah, nothing to report there really.
Excellent.
Oh, good.
Go on, Pidge. You got another one?
No, I'll just throw this out to you guys for your opinion on the men's team. Obviously, been well documented what's actually happened with with the men, but with as regards Deeney, do you think obviously we've got one Captain Marvel here, but the other Captain Marvel could be on his way out? What's your opinion? What both of your opinions on possibly Deeney leaving?
I mean,
I think. Go on, Clint.
No, I mean, I think that Deeney's been at the club for a long time. I think it would be a shame if he was to go, but I think until you maybe experience relegation and go through that, it could change how someone thinks or what where they really see their future. Maybe they have to take a step back before they make a clear-cut decision. So I don't think maybe he's even made a decision yet. Maybe he still needs a bit of time to really think through what he wants to do and let the whole relegation sink in. I'm not too sure. But I think that certainly I think that he deserves maybe the time to make a decision, and he's been at the club. He's given a lot for the club, and I mean, hopefully he stays. But I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been here 10 years now, and yes, okay, the club showed him a lot of loyalty when he had his issues in the past, but I think he's probably had a lot of opportunities to move on since then, and he's stuck with us and he stayed with us, and he's been a tremendous captain and player for Watford. From a personal point of view, he's always been very good to me, very friendly to talk to, and he always knows what's going on. Even if, in the public, he might not show that he's up with the ladies, but every time I've seen him, he's always said, he got on, he had this result. I think at one awards evening, I'd missed a penalty the game before, and he said, "What are you doing missing penalties?" And I thought, fair play. Okay, he's taking the piss out of me, but fair play. He knows that it's happened, and there's not many club captains that would do that for their women's team and have that sort of interest. And I think you have to appreciate what he's done for the club. If he does get another contract, he's 32 now, I think, so he's still got a few years ahead of him, but I'm sure anyone of his age will know that it's potentially your last big contract. Whether that's with Watford or another club, I don't know. But I'd like to think that if he did move on and that was his decision, then he'd go with the best wishes of everyone at the club, because he's certainly done everything he can for the club. He was instrumental in getting us into the Premier League, and he scored goals every season that we've been there. So you have to take your hat off to him and give him credit. I don't want him to leave. I'd love him to stay, and I think he could be key to us doing well in the Championship. But with only 1 year left on his contract at the moment, he's probably in the driving seat to make that decision more so than the club potentially.
Yeah.
Luke, he's come back with another one. He wants to know, this is for both of you, what are your favourite old school sweets? Now, I'm guessing this is probably hinting at Seren, by the sounds of it.
Definitely.
The sweet man himself.
Rhubarb and custard, all-time favourite. Love them.
Yeah, I'm into licorice. Me, I like licorice. Bit weird, I know, but I like licorice. I like the ones that, they're almost like bullets that are covered in like a.
Sugar.
You're gonna get me on it now. Yeah, they're covered in like a sugar.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're nice. Any licorice is good.
I'll make sure.
Brilliant.
I'll make sure Seren watches this back, because knowing him, he'll probably send you some in the post this week, Clint. So
that is a plug. That is a plug. Yeah. Either way, you're getting some sweets. So
it's just strange that question's come from Luke, and I can just imagine that he's with Seren right now. So I'm guessing the two of them have conjured that up between them. I know what they're like. But there's a question I wanted to ask you both. I just wanted to go back to last season, the semi-final in the plate. How tough were those conditions that day? Because for me, standing on the sidelines, I was trying not to get blown about. But just how tough was it, like standing on the pitch and being on the pitch as well? Yeah, like I say, it wasn't easy for us standing in the crowd, but it must have been even tougher for you guys.
I mean, I missed out that day because I was away, so I missed the semi-final.
Oh,
so I don't know how tough it was.
Oh, crap! I forgot about that.
That's the Middlesbrough game, yeah.
Yeah, that was the Middlesbrough one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I missed it, unfortunately, but I'll let Clint take that one.
Yeah, it was very tough. I remember.
Nice to know you missed me though.
He's not as clued up as he thought he was, eh?
God, it's been a while.
No, it was really difficult. I think that game, the whole thing was I mean, it was a tough day out in general with us going down to 10 players and no sub keeper and Nina being the one sent off. And but similar to the Plymouth game, really, it just goes to show that we dig in when we have a player down, because I think we went on to win that game when I think it was just maybe 1-1, and then I think we got the winner when we were a player down. But no, the conditions were horrendous. I mean, the balls were, even for the warm up, you're trying to keep the ball still, but they're blowing away, and it was it wasn't great. But to be honest with you, the football we play, we like to keep it on the floor anyway, so it benefited how we play. So hence us winning and going through, really, I suppose, or well, not going through, or whatever way you want to look at
it. Yeah, the final that never was is what I'm going to put that one down to. The final that will never be. Much annoyed. There's a question from Sam. He wants to know: do you guys have any pre-match rituals or songs you listen to before a game to get yourselves fired up?
Yeah, the song thing goes back to the playlist that is a pretty set playlist every game, and I think footballers are superstitious creatures. I think it stays the same as long as we're winning. In terms of personal things, there's not really much I do that is particularly, revolutionary. I wear the same sports bra and pants, if that counts. But I used to have a weird thing where I'd put my left sock on before my right and my left boot on first. But I've when you have kids, you realise there's not enough time in the world for those kind of things. So I don't have anything in particular personally, but other than the playlist pretty much stays the same. I think if we're on a good run, which last season we were very much, so hopefully it stays the same again throughout this season.
None for me. Nope, no superstitions from me.
That's good. That's good. I don't know why. I just always thought I don't know why. I've always thought like maybe like managers have had one. I was never sure, but yeah.
No,
he likes the other arm in the jacket or something.
He likes to have a ritual of making sure his team talks last a certain amount of time. has to be over a certain amount of time.
You've got stopwatch.
Over 30 minutes.
Rumour has it he's also looking for a new captain.
Never. Surely that can't happen.
Look on the ladies' forum. You'll be able to find out, Ellen.
Oh man, Pidge, I am going to kill you in a minute.
Yeah, by the way, anyone who lynches me in the comments, that's not a dig at the forum. That is an absolutely brilliant forum. We have got a link on our forum, so if you can get on there, if you haven't already, please do get on there, and it saves me being lynched by everyone.
Go on, mate. You got another one? I'll just.
No, I was just throwing out the comments. Aidan going, we beat Middlesbrough 2-0. That's from Mr. Gordon Ramsay himself, Aidan.
What did I say? I said 2-1, didn't I? Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aidan.
Yeah, Aidan. He's going to kill us now. Right. Danny's saying, when is everyone going to wear bandanas? That question was going to be thrown up. He's gone on with a bandana. This is Nina's personal seller. Personal merchandise seller about everyone wearing bandanas. But you can answer that if you want, or just you can just ignore it. Honestly, it will not matter whatsoever.
I mean, I'll probably say never. Just to nip that one in the bud.
Yeah.
Right, that's Helen, but Clint will make up for it, and he'll be wearing one on the sidelines if Danny gets near you, mate. So just avoid Danny at all possible, because he'll bring you a special bandana, Clint. By the way,
I'll put it in my pocket.
There we go. That's good enough, Danny. That's answered the question, mate. It's good enough. Red or black shorts? we've had this thing with when under GT we always wore red shorts. It's a question, but do you prefer red shorts to black, or the yellow and the red for the kit? Is there any difference you ever?
I used to always be an advocate for the red shorts because it's what I grew up watching, but I actually think black probably looks a lot smarter. The kit designs nowadays seem to be more yellow and black central. So, yeah, I'd say the black ones probably look better.
Cool. Yeah. Right. Just big shout out. Also, Aidan said, "Yeah, sorry, I would have been on, but he sounds like hell. He has been ill, so Aidan, no problem at all, mate. Just get better soon, and when you feel up to it and you want to come on one of the pods, mate, you're more than welcome. So just get well soon to Aidan, Mr. Gordon Ramsay himself. So Danny's crying. He's not very happy with that answer you gave, Helen. But I think it's probably warranted with that question, because I'll probably say the same as well. You wouldn't catch me wearing a bandana. Already got a stupid haircut as it is, so I don't think a bandana will make any difference, to be honest. Right, Moobs, sorry, mate. Go on, mate. You shoot.
Yeah, no, I've actually just found out that Seren is actually on, and that was his question about the sweets. I've just been someone just privately messaged me, so that was a Seren special for you. I knew it was going to come up. But yeah, no, lots. But with regards to this season, obviously we're going to massively go for promotion. But I said this earlier, didn't I, about a cup run? I'm having a mare. I'll tell you what, Pidge, carry on, mate. I'm having a mare here. I need a reset.
No, guys. Mate, absolutely brilliant. Just before, we've got another 5 minutes, but Clint, Helen, thank you ever so much for coming on. I know we've got another 5 minutes to go, but just in case I shouldn't forget, but just in case I do forget, it's an honor and a privilege to have both of you on. One is good enough, but both of you on at the same time is absolutely brilliant. So just before we finish, thank you ever so much, guys. It's absolutely brilliant. So cheers. Do appreciate it.
No problem. It's been good.
Yeah, more than welcome. It's been a pleasure.
No, thank you. No, yeah, it's the pleasure's all ours, guys. Honestly, right. Just remember, guys and girls as well. We are sponsored by Sweets for All. We haven't said that already, but we also always put it up in the description. Get down to Lord Seren, aka Morpheus's showroom. No doubt Helen and Clint will be soon, because Seren will probably bully you enough to get down there. But if you haven't been down there already, sugar-free sweets and all your sweet desires, quick, fast delivery by Seren at Sweets for All. So we've got a link on the forum. So if you haven't been on the website already, please get onto the website and order your sweets. So he does fantastic work around the community as well, and delivering sweets around during the difficult time during the COVID as well. So Seren, you're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you ever so much for that. Right. Okay. What? Also, someone actually asked, I think it could have been Danny, Clint. Has anyone experienced your hairdryer treatment, and what is a Clint hairdryer treatment like?
To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever really. I mean, Helen might remember something that I don't. But certainly this season I've been pretty lucky, because we haven't lost a game really. So I've been pretty fortunate that the players have been winning. So there's been a couple of occasions maybe where I've expected more first half, and I've gone in second half and we've had a few words, and it's been more kind of we can do better. Been a bit disappointed, but I don't think I've ever really kind of had a hairdryer moment as such. I don't know, Helen, if you think that I may have. Don't know.
No, I don't think so, to be fair. I think all the games that we haven't been doing so well in the first half, I think as a group of players we've known that anyway. And I think Clint and Armand and the other coaches recognise when we've done something that's not been great. So there's not really been the massive need for it. It's been more of an opportunity just to try and put things right in a sort of calmer manner, if that makes sense. So yeah, we've not had too many occasions. I can't even think off the top of my head. I think Kensham away wasn't brilliant. in the FA Cup. The first half was quite sloppy, so there are probably a few choice words at half time. Yeah. We didn't play our best football that half. But again, it wasn't anything. There was no water bottles thrown and no one was hurt. So I wouldn't say the hairdryer came out.
No.
Guys, actually, I've got one more question. What's it like having all of us there, especially at away games, like cheering and singing from the top of our voices for 90 minutes?
Oh, it's amazing. I think the first time I really appreciated it. Obviously, we appreciate every single time you come, but Chichester away was phenomenal. Again, that wasn't one of our best performances, but we ground out a 3-2 win on a pitch that wasn't the best. It was heavy. It was, it wasn't going our way in terms of how we were playing and other little bits. But to have you guys stood behind that goal, willing us on, and almost drawing the ball into the back of the net for Leggy's winner, it meant everything. And all season you were fantastic. Hearing you, the songs that you come up with, they're very creative, and we all love hearing them. And come the end of the game, when you're all stood there clapping us, we take a lot of pleasure going over to see you and thank you. And hopefully there's more of that to come this season, because it means the world to us to have that. There's clubs in divisions higher than us that don't have that sort of support. So we're very thankful for it. And whether there's 2 or 3 of you or 33 of you, it makes all the difference. So hopefully a few more of you can join in the crowd and the fun next season, and we'd love to see you down at Kings Langley for sure, and everywhere else that we travel.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't put it better, to be honest with you. I think especially the fact that we've had so many, we've had three really long away games, Plymouth and then Sunderland and to Middlesbrough, and you guys have been really consistent with your travelling, and it's been unbelievable. And I think that there's probably even some teams in the Championship that don't get the following that we get from you guys. So it just goes to show that everything on the pitch and off the pitch is kind of ready for us to take that step up into the Championship. So hopefully we can continue that this season with you guys coming to all of our games and pushing us over the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be back out on the road this year, no matter what. I'm already trying to work stuff around and everything. So it's I'm looking forward to it, because I'll be like everyone else. I've missed watching the team play. I've been stumped with stuff to do on a Sunday at times. So I've had to keep going to work. So, but I've got I have a little message from Aidan. He says that he has been working over lockdown. He's been working on a ton of new songs for all of you, and Clint, he has one for you as well. So I'll try and get that off him and see if he'll send it to you.
I'm honoured. Thanks very much. Look forward to hearing it, mate.
That's all right. I'm looking forward to hearing it as well, because I'd love to know what he's been doing.
Brilliant. Right, guys and girls, thank you ever so much for the season. All your support has been absolutely brilliant on the forum and the podcasts. Just get onto YouTube if you haven't already. Like, share and subscribe. The ladies fans channel on YouTube's up as well, so please get over there and like, share and subscribe on there. I will be putting a link up for that as well. And also, if you haven't already been on there, get onto the ladies fans forum. It's forever growing every single week. New members coming every single week. We'll post up a fresh new link to that forum, so if you can get over there, the latest news and opinions on the ladies teams on the ladies fans forum. Obviously, TMA will cover the ladies as much as we can throughout next season as well, and as indeed on the podcast as always. But like I say, once again, big thank you to Clint Hennon for coming on. Mood Dino as ever. The last time I say this until next season, the man, the myth, the legend, Mrs. Non-League, he's as well. Thank you very much. And everyone, a big goodbye and a good night.
Yes.